guys, Nick the Informative Fisherman here on behalf of Lucky Tackle Box, and today we're going to be breaking down the Lunkerhunt Link. So we're in early spring. This water temperature is getting close to 60 degrees. I know bass are going to be moving up. So what I like to do is start paralleling the shoreline with this bank or grass line. So if you look at this wall right here as a prime example, that's something I can parallel. I can make a long cast right down it, and when you work this bait, you're just going to give it a twitch and reel. Twitch, twitch, reel, twitch, twitch, reel. You want to progressively always be taking up line as you're twitching that rod. What that's going to do is it's going to impart that walk the dog action, which is really critical for bringing up bass to hit this. Now, a walking bait like this for other targets, you can bring fish up, especially in the post spawn. In the fall, those fish love to come up and blast a topwater bait. So another popular target would be a point leading out of a spawning bay. Now, a spawning bay for the post spawn is one of those shallow, flat, hard bottom areas. An area where you've seen bass spawning, the nearest deep water ledge during that post spawn, that is going to be a great bait. It'll also be a great bait the first thing in the morning and in the evening, also when you see those spawning fish, because not all the time do all the bass move up and spawn at the exact same time. And in the fall, they're gonna get right in shallow again, in and around boat docks. They could be out on main lake points and out in the mouths of those creeks. And as it gets closer to winter, those fish are gonna push back in those creeks and follow those shorelines in. So the link here is a perfect bait for pulling them up. Looks just like two shad. Now, when you look at the link here, what makes it unique? It looks like two smaller topwater baits connected together. So you have a total of 3 treble hooks. When this thing's jerking back and forth, it looks like shad trying to avoid being attacked, which gives the bass a whole nother look. Now, since this bait has so much hinging action, as I'm twitching, you've seen me continue to reel. I don't throw in a big twitch and a pause because it has so much turn, it could come over and get your braid. So I'm doing a progressive little line pickup as I'm doing those downward twitches to walk the dog, but to keep that line semi-tight out in front of it to prevent those hooks from hooking that braid. Now, when it comes to the setup I'm using, surprisingly enough, the link is not very heavy, which is nice because a lot of topwater baits are real heavy, and when that bass comes up and shakes his head, they can leverage it off with those smaller treble hooks. So I'm not using a beefy rod. I'm using a medium heavy, moderate fast. See, it's got a lot more taper, and this is a 7'2" rod. You don't need anything overly special, just a basic worm rod. The rod you're gonna go out and throw a Senko on. It's the same rod you can go out there and throw the links on. I like to throw it on 50-pound braid. Everybody wants to yell and scream and holler, 50-pound braid, what are you fishing for, marlin? No, you're making long casts. When that bass comes up and swats on 80, 90-foot casts, all you need to do is reel and lean on him with that 50-pound braid. If he misses, you don't want to jerk it away and send it sailing through the air. If you reel and lean on him, if you got hooks on him a little bit with that braid, it's going to dig those treble hooks in. Now, that being said, with that, I do like to have my drag set to where it's not overly hard. I don't want to tear those treble hooks free of that bass. I want him to be able to turn with it, a good amount of pressure to where you're still going to be able to horse that fish and keep that rod bent the whole time. But that's my setup for that. I like a real fast reel, 7-to-1 reel. I like to be able to pick up line fast. If I see bass boiling over there, I want to reel it in fast and fire it back off. Just like that, that faster reel is going to keep that tension on that fish, whether he takes drag or not. Those prime conditions are your low light hours. But if it's fall and they're chasing shad, or if you've seen shad on your school, or you physically see shad with your eyes busting, you can pull this out and really get them. There doesn't seem to be a better bait that, in regards to matching shad, truly looks like versus the links here, which is an incredible little deal. So in regards to my conditions, first thing in the morning, later in the evening, overcast days, even at nighttime, you can get out there and catch them. Surprisingly enough, not enough guys fish at nighttime for bass, but it's phenomenal. Bass year-round, especially in the summertime, get out real shallow, right up along the bank at nighttime. Get out there, look for those full moon, get your eyes comfortable to that dark light, and you can catch a lot of fish right at nighttime with that link. Now, you probably heard me say, when setting the hook on this bait, you don't need to slam it home, you just need to reel into them and lean. That being said, a lot of people still have the tendency of jerking. If those treble hooks are exposed and you jerk up, you're throwing a bunch of slack on top of your bait. Your braid's gonna get back on top of your bait. You're gonna miss, you're gonna pull it away from the fish. So what you wanna do when you're working this bait, you're naturally gonna be walking the dog with your tip down, okay? Tips down, as they hit, sweep down. push that rod tip into the water, and no matter what, you will not launch that bait out of the surface. And if they did miss, it looked like it ran away, and they'll run it back down for another strike. Well, guys, I'm Nick the Informative Fisherman, and that's the Lunkerhunt Link. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel below. Make sure to check out all of our other videos. We have a lot of great talent putting these instructional videos together for you guys. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.